It is time for me as the host of Philadelphia Eagles now to hold Howie Roseman accountable. The Philadelphia Eagles need to make an organizational change and change one of their philosophical approaches as it comes to a certain position on the defensive side of the football. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Howie Roseman is the best general manager in the game. The way that he's able to pull off financial gymnastics, manage the cap, and I think he's done a better job with evaluating talent in the NFL draft and how he's able to pluck players in free agency. The Philadelphia Eagles have become a destination, partially because of Howie Roseman. But him ignoring a specific position has become a problem, especially in the 2023 season. First, a programming alert here on Eagles Now. We're going to be running it back for another watch party right here on the show. We have had countless watch parties surpass 100,000 subscribers. Eagles must-win game against the Seattle Seahawks. We'll be live for an hour pregame show beginning at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope that all of you join us, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and don't miss the best place to experience the game outside of being at the actual game. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our sponsor, True Classic. It's the holiday season. If you're trying to get some shopping done or you've been getting a lot of gift cards from some of your family members, significant others, and you're looking for some new clothes, go no further than True Classic. I'm wearing one of their golf polos right now, and the holidays are here. That means one thing. It's time to break out all of your favorite outerwear from True Classic. True Classic's ultra-comfortable, perfect-fitting essentials make for the perfect gift for the men in your life. From jackets to jeans to sweaters, everything they make is crafted with premium fabrics to help you look and feel great anytime, anywhere. We have a great deal for you if you go to trueclassic.com/chatsports. Right now, limited time only, you can get yourself and the men in your life the most loved gifts of all at a discount rate. It's 25% off using that link at the bottom of your screen. Now, I'm wearing the polo right now, but when it also comes to their sweatshirts, their hoodies, and crews, they will become your go-to items for casual Fridays, game days, trips to the gym. I've worn these golf polos out on the golf course. I'm also a huge fan of their zip hoodie, which I wear pretty much every single day when I'm kicking it at the crib after work because it's so comfortable. So if you're looking for a more formal look, they've got you covered there too. They just launched 5 different styles of button-up shirts, a new sweater that feels like cashmere, and fleece jackets to warm up during the cold weather. The sweatpants are also awesome. TrueClassic.com/chatsports. We'll put that link down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. Get 25% off. So the issue and the philosophical change that I want to see Howie Roseman make is just valuing the linebacker position a little bit more. This year, the Eagles linebackers are a problem, and the receipts are there. Throughout the entire offseason, we were saying, Eagles linebackers are an issue. It's the biggest weakness on this team in addition to safety. Would love to see Philadelphia spend some money there. Howie Roseman has never invested in that position. Is he going to do it? Can the Philadelphia Eagles trade for a player like Patrick Queen after the Baltimore Ravens did not exercise his 5th-year option? Howie Roseman didn't make any of those moves. He signed Nicholas Morrow for cheap. He signed Zach Cunningham for cheap, and he just signed Shaq Leonard, who played 14 snaps against the Dallas Cowboys. Howie Roseman, philosophically, has never valued the linebacker position, and it has become a glaring hole on this Eagles team. And we know how Howie likes to build a football unit. He has literally said this before. You got to get your franchise quarterback. You got to build up the trenches along the offensive line and the defensive line, and then you focus toward your cornerbacks. Now, previously to this offseason, when the Eagles re-signed Darius Slay and restructured his contract and then brought back James Bradberry, Philadelphia had never really invested in the cornerback position. So that's a little bit of a team-building change from Howie Roseman. But going into the year, you look at the defensive spending for the Eagles here. On the entire defensive side of the football, they ranked 26th among 32 teams. And the budget there going into this year, $89.4 million. Now, increasingly, offense has won more and more at the NFL level, but you might like to see that number of 26 be a little bit higher. Howie Roseman is a magician with the cap, so you'd think that the Eagles are paying a lot along that defensive line. They're actually 17th. Linebacker, though, 31st among 32 teams. And right now, the lack of paying linebackers is costing the Eagles. Cornerback, 8th. And then safety, also an issue this year, 32nd. So the Eagles here are bottom 2, linebacker and safety. And the Eagles just don't even draft linebackers either. You can look back at Davion Taylor. They lucked into TJ Edwards, who was a UDFA coming out of Wisconsin, and Philadelphia was able to develop him into one of the best off-ball linebackers in the NFL. And you look at the Eagles' defense here in 2023, a big reason why Philadelphia has struggled so much on the defensive side of the football. I think Sean Desai being a new defensive coordinator obviously impacts the team as far as a lack of consistency, because Jonathan Gannon is missed just because he was there for a couple of years, and Sean Desai has not been able to utilize the talent to his advantage, but also Sean Desai isn't working with a good linebacking core or a good safety unit. The Eagles are 28th in points per game, 29th in points per drive, 22nd in yards per game. Turnovers forced. They're not feasting the football. 21st there. Passing touchdowns allowed. Second last in the NFL. First downs by penalties. So not only are they not forcing turnovers, they're getting penalized a lot. That comes down to coaching and discipline. 26th there. Third down defense, last in the NFL. And their red zone defense is 30th. If the Eagles had TJ Edwards, I'm pretty confident that those numbers would not be as low as they are right now. And what's a shame is that the Philadelphia Eagles developed TJ Edwards into a very good player. He went from a UDFA fighting for a roster spot as a rookie to barely making the 53-man roster to a very solid backer, where last year he was the second highest graded linebacker according to Pro Football Focus. And he got $12 million in guaranteed money to go to the Chicago Bears. And there are some rumors out there that TJ Edwards was offered more by Philadelphia, but why would he want to go to Chicago, an awful football team, instead of the Eagles coming off a Super Bowl if the Eagles offered him a little bit more money? The Eagles are sorely missing TJ Edwards this year. He has an overall Pro Football Focus grade of 79.5. He was so good against the pass, tight ends and slot receivers, and against the run. Run defense grade of 79.4. Pass rush grade, he can sack the quarterback a little bit. He has 2 sacks this year, 81.4 there. His coverage grade is 70.7. He has 95 solo tackles, 4 pass breakups, 7 tackles for loss. And what the Eagles are doing here, relying on retreads. Nicholas Morrow, retread. Zach Cunningham, retread. Shaq Leonard, 3-time first-team All-Pro, but a retread. And the middle of the field has been getting gashed because opponents are going to keep attacking that area of the field until the Eagles show that they can stop it. And up to this point, they haven't been able to stop it. Another issue with not having a rangy sideline-to-sideline linebacker, a guy who has vertical speed as well, it's missed tackles. And what missed tackles lead to longer drives and more snaps for this Eagles defense. How tired has this team looked over the last month? You know why they've looked so tired? Because the snap counts have gone up so much by about 13 per game over the last month and a half compared to the first month and a half of the season. Now, when you look ahead to the 2024 linebacker free agency crop, it's obviously too little too late for Philadelphia right now. They're going to have to try to mask those weaknesses and put a Band-Aid on what is a pretty big cut, but they have an opportunity to right their wrongs here. Would love to see what Devin White can do for this football team. Age 26, you can use him as a blitzer. He could drop back in coverage. His speed, he's a game changer. Josey Jewell, really underrated player for the Denver Broncos. He's only 28. Bobby Wagner's a little bit older, continues to defy father time. It's going to catch up to him at some point, but he's playing good ball for Seattle. And what's frustrating is that Philadelphia could have traded for a Devin White. They could have traded for a Bobby Wagner. At the trade deadline, they could have gone after a Jordan Hicks. Lavonte David, I'm kind of out on him. He's 33. Devin Bush is 25. We talked about the trade rumors around Patrick Queen because we talked about linebacking being an issue for this team. Denzel Perryman, 31. Oren Burks, 28. And Tyrel Dodson, 25. So the latter names on that list, not all that good, but a good free agency crop this upcoming season. What the Eagles are looking for is a prototypical drop-back linebacker, off-ball linebacker, who can flourish and hold up in coverage against the pass. And that's exactly what Patrick Queen is. I love the player because of his durability. He's never missed a game in his NFL career. I like the player because of his range. I love a player for his instincts, and he has them. If you want to use him in some blitz packages, you can do that. 3.5 sacks. He's been a tackling machine, 108 this year. He also has 4 pass breakups and 8 tackles for loss. And the Pro Football Focus numbers that he's put up this year are so much better than any linebacker on this Eagles team. Overall grade of 76.1, run defense grade of 73.8, pass rush grade of 70.8, and then a coverage grade of 72.9. What I'd like to see the Eagles do, maybe invest in a player like that, because with the increasing talent level at tight ends, with the increasing creativity from offensive coordinators and offensive head coaches across the NFL, a lot of these smaller slot wide receivers, a lot of these tight ends, they live in the middle area of the field. And right now, that's where Philadelphia has been gashed. Now, I said C at one point because Paul C., one of our Super Chat MVPs and Bird's Nest Hall of Fame members, brought up the name Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Does this celebration look familiar? The Axeman. That's because Jeremiah Trotter's son, who used to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, is Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who plays for Clemson, rocked the number 54, and Trot was known as the Axeman. Had a hell of a career coming out of Stephen F. Austin. He was one of the developmental projects under Andy Reid and Jim Johnson, and for a little while there, he's one of the best linebackers in the NFL in the early 2000s. A physical force who is not scared to hit you, who could also play off ball and thrive around the line of scrimmage. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. has a lot of the same qualities that his dad had when he was playing with the Birds. Here's what he did at Clemson in 2023. Could be available at the end of the first round or in the second round. 5.5 sacks, 54 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and an overall Pro Football Focus grade of 85.7. I'm telling Howie Roseman right now, do whatever you have to do to get Jeremiah Trotter Jr. on this roster. He decided to forego his senior year of eligibility at Clemson. He's only 20 years old right now, and that can be one of your franchise building blocks and an opportunity for you to correct one of your wrongs and to shore up a weakness on this team. So if you don't want to pay the big money to a Patrick Queen, then at least draft a quality linebacker high in the draft like a Jeremiah Trotter Jr. who could be available for when the Eagles pick. If you want the Eagles to invest in linebacker more, send a message to Howie Roseman. He might come across this video. Type LB down below. And as always, thanks for watching the program here.